Well, welcome back, everybody, to Two Pastors and a Mic. My name is Channock.
Woo! And I'm Cory.
And we're so excited to be back in the studio.
We're back.
Releasing the first episode in a couple months. We took the entire summer off. Well, we were still releasing episodes, but those were pre-recorded. And
all the way back in May. So we literally did take the entire summer off.
Right, yeah. It was really good, actually, but excited to be back with you in the recording studio. And back with our audience. Matter of fact, you were telling me something right before we started recording that a lot of people have reached out just to let us know that they've enjoyed Shane Willard. But it was like, 5 or 6 weeks of Shane Willard, and they really just missed us.
Yeah, they did. I was really encouraged. And I hope you really enjoyed Shane Willard. I actually just went back literally this past week and listened to all 5 in a row. Even though I had heard them live at Jamie's conference, It was good to go back. Man, he had so many fruitful things to say, so many challenging ideas. I'm not going to stop thinking about his whole no grumbling, shine like stars, just from Philippians 2, like his whole thought process of he could have challenged the Philippian church on a plethora of things. Hey, don't murder, or don't commit adultery, or like all the big ones that the church like to talk about. And in his spotlight moment, he says, hey, stop grumbling like the Israelites. And that has just been so challenging for me personally, because I'm catching how often I grumble about things I can control, things I can't control, just a plethora of things. So I listened back. I was really encouraged. I know several people did reach out, say they loved him. They'd never heard of him. I had never heard of him until last year when Jamie said he was going to be the next year's speaker. And so I had binged a lot of his stuff. The sermon he preached at our church Sunday morning, the whole Bible in 38 minutes, which was the most recent one. I've heard that a couple times in different places. I thought it was really good. That's why we wanted him to teach that at our church. But I did, again, hear a ton of great feedback from it. But I was so encouraged to hear how many people really just missed us bantering, talking, picking apart stuff. And so thank you for those of you who have reached out. Thank you for those of you who have committed to listening to Two Pastors and a Mic, who share Two Pastors and a Mic, who have left reviews. We've had several reviews even lately, which I'm encouraged by that. If you haven't, go do and leave that review. You can actually leave comments on Spotify. And I did not know this on the episode. And I texted you while I was on my family vacation. There were several comments I responded to that were like a year old, because I just didn't even know that existed. And so seriously, we so greatly appreciate the support from all of you. It is fun. I'm having fun. I'm not going to speak for you, to be back in the booth, because it has been 2 months since we actually recorded. I really enjoy recording. But I do want to give a couple shout outs before we get into today's episode, because we got a lot to recap, because a lot happened in 2 months. But a big shout out to you, Miss Robin from Avon, Indiana. She actually came to one of our summer services at church at Hill City, and then came and introduced herself and said, I'm a huge podcast fan. I had to come down and see you guys on a Sunday morning. And so she told me she had been binging. So you're probably actually not even going to hear this shout out for like another couple months, but shout out to you. I appreciate you. And then another shout out to Miss Erin, who's a part of our hospitality team here at Hill City. An incredible woman that's been a part of Hill City for a while now. And she stopped me. She was actually doing the hospitality for one of the funerals, which we did a lot of funerals this summer, which was sad and unique, because I haven't done that many funerals. I did one and you did one, and then we combined for one.
Yeah. And then I just did another one.
Yeah. And she stopped me though after the funeral, because she's on the hospitality team serving this family a meal who's grieving. And she goes, hey, I've been listening to the podcast a lot, and I noticed that as you introduce the episodes, you say "do it" a lot over Channock. She goes, are you quoting Starsky and Hutch from
Ben Stiller?
Ben Stiller. And I would laugh. Big shout out to you, because I do say "do it" every week, and that is a little shout out to Ben Stiller. Oh my gosh, random story. I'm just going to tell this. So I texted to my wife. I was in Aldi recently, and this lady, I was sneezing like crazy. So I was bringing a lot of attention to myself. I don't know why I had like 7, 8 sneezes in a row multiple times. And the lady that was in front of me at the checkout line, she turns around and she goes, sorry, it's probably me. I have cats, which I thought was a very bizarre thing to say to a stranger. But as we're leaving the parking lot, our carts hit in the parking lot. And she goes, I've been meaning to ask you, are you somebody famous? And you need to know something about me is when I get put on the spot, or like if I'm on an airplane, I do lie a lot when it comes to just making stories up. I'll just go along with it. So I looked her square in the face and I said, yes, but keep it on the DL. And she goes, what's your name? I was like, well, I don't really want to tell you. She goes, come on, what's your name? Are you a famous movie star? And I said, yes. And she goes, is your name Ben? And I said, yeah, I'm Ben Stiller. And she goes, I knew it.
What? Dude, you did not ever tell me that.
I didn't.
That is wild.
And so I
it.
straight face got in the car, and then I texted my wife. I was like, you'll never believe what just happened. And I went along with it. This lady thinks that she met Ben Stiller in New Albany, Indiana. But I don't even know if that was
an Aldi.
I don't even know if that was a compliment, because he's 59 and I'm 38. So, but at the same time, I've gone as Ben Stiller a lot for Halloween. I've gone as Dodgeball. I've grown the Fu Manchu. I do get told I look a lot like Ben Stiller. So that's my funny lie of the summer. So big shout out to you, Aaron, for noticing that I do say, do it.
Yeah. Those of you that know Cory, he actually, half of his conversations or one-liners actually are movie quotes.
All the time. And there's probably like 10 movies that I quote all the time, but I don't know if I can say that publicly.
It's all good. Well, that was a long intro, but we're excited to be back. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't say it.
What did I say?
Do it.
Oh,
That's when you say do it.
I know. I was thrown off. Do it. And big shout out to the people that have been watching us on GAN. I did not know that there were a good amount of people that watch our videos on GAN, because I've been getting emails from people reaching out all over the country. We've had several people from Ontario tune in to our Sunday morning services. We have people in Vancouver, all over the world really tune in, and obviously our friends in the Netherlands, which I am sad because we're getting close to fall season. This is the first time in 4 years that I'm not going to the Netherlands this October or November, so I'm pretty sad about that. But I'm looking forward to being there next fall. We'll be there fall 2026, so with our friend Jason Clark, which I don't know if that's public, but we just made it public.
Yep.
I'm excited about that trip. So
yeah, me too. It's good. So what we got for today? We got our summer recap.
Yeah, a little summer recap. A lot has happened. You know, they've been hearing from guests. You heard our interviews. You heard from Shane Willard. Kind of where are you at as we start the fall semester? We say fall semester because just this past week, our kids started school. So we're finally getting back into routine. I thank God I need some routine because I live on routine. I was gone a while in and out of different states on vacation. You know, we try to plan our summer vacations because my wife gets 6 weeks off during summer because she's a school counselor. And so we try to take our trips. So I've been gone in and out. You've been gone. You've been super busy with ReLife. I'd love for you to give an update on ReLife because we got some really exciting things happening. And I'll give a little bit of an update on some things with going on in my life and what I've been releasing. You've been releasing, your book, Enough Already, which we will talk about here in the next couple of weeks. But if you haven't already gotten Channock's book, Enough Already, it's on Amazon. It hit number 1 bestseller, or
no,
new release, number 2 bestseller.
Yeah, but it was a number 1 new release in 3 categories.
Yeah,
it
big
got
deal.
all the way up to a number 2 bestseller in 1 category.
Hey, still a really big deal.
Oh yeah,
and I love the book. I know people have really liked it. We're gonna spend several weeks going through different chapters here coming up in a couple weeks, just because I think it'll be good for our audience to hear our perspective. Even like you writing this really challenged me on certain things. I know some of them have been podcast episodes in the past, and like where we are with them now, I think it'll be really helpful. But give us a little bit of recap of your summer, where you're at. It's been a lot.
A whole lot. So you just want a recap of everything, or a couple highlights?
Yeah, we'll just flow. See what happens.
Well, for one, yeah, I am excited to be back into routine just a little bit. This summer, I probably was gone more from home, more from the office than any other summer I remember since I became lead pastor. I think I was gone a total of like 24 days out of the 2 months. So for me, that's a lot. I traveled to Africa, had an incredible time there. Got a chance to go to Guatemala again. Led my 5th team trip to Guatemala. Had 16 of us there with us. My second son Malachi started his senior year this year, and then of course senior soccer season over the summer, and just keeping up with all of that. So it's been busy. It's been a lot. A couple things to update ReLife as well. Our HQ building is officially done fully.
It looks amazing.
We do have one door we're going to change out for an outside entrance, but Outside of that, it is complete. People are using it. The community is using it, and everybody is absolutely in love with the space and just the opportunity to have just a nice area for different gatherings and some things that they have on their heart to do. They being some ministry leaders in our community, to really like dive deep and to bring some healing to trauma, or to addiction, or some other things. And so it's just been really, really cool to see even the Hispanic community get involved, love the space. I've had 2 birthday parties from contractors that actually worked on the space, that them or their families have now rented it to have birthday parties for their kids and just a gathering space there. So I just think that's super cool, and love that. The house that's right next door is nearly complete. They are, as we're recording this podcast, they are starting to redo the roof on the house. Once that's complete, the house will be ready for a mom to move in. So yeah, we're super excited for all of that. And then our next project won't necessarily be a house for a mom to move into. ReLife is its own thing now, standing on its own as a nonprofit. And so
it happened this summer.
it happened this summer. So we need some operating capital to be able to run and fund the nonprofit, paying for everything from utilities to insurance to maintenance to upkeep, all the stuff, right? And just telling the story of ReLife to actually my uncle, who's close and in the community, does a lot of stuff in the community, very generous. He actually ended up selling us a house so that we can fix up and sell to flip and use the proceeds and the profit towards the operating expense for ReLife, which hopefully it'll even get us, who even knows, 2-3 years plus of capital for operating expense.
So amazing how that worked out.
So that's our next project.
Yeah. And if you want to get involved with ReLife, or maybe you can't get involved tangibly in terms of like your presence, but you can give tangibly in terms of your finances, you can always go to thepowerofre.com and you can get involved. Now it's an official 501c3. We got all the paperwork filed. Now we can apply for grants. It's really starting to take off in our community. People are starting to notice. People are starting to realize what is going on with affordable housing. Is kind of really, really cool to be a part of that. So thank you for all of you who have reached out. I do know that there are going to be serve opportunities here in the future. So if you even want to, if you're local and you want to get involved, still go to thepowerofre.com. You can give there, or you can sign up to get the text messages about all the service projects that are going to be coming up this fall, and hopefully house number 6. I'm going to speak it into existence. House number 6
it'll happen.
Will happen this fall. And so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then the biggest probably highlight, even though I had some amazing ones, for me would be June 25th and the release of Enough Already.
Yeah.
And just one of those things that I've always had it in my heart to release a book. This was really about my emotional health journey over the last few years. Some things that God took me through, how I now see not only myself, but others, how I see the church, really rethinking everything with the church and what it looks like to follow Jesus, and just living out confidently in who I am. And so super excited to be able to release that. It's a, it's a quick read, but it's something that I think captures quite a bit of what God has taken me through over the last few years. And to date, I think I've sold almost 400 copies, which blew my expectation out of the water. Yeah. Which was really cool. So that was really an awesome thing that I'll have as a legacy piece. I wrote it for my boys, so that they can see their dad's journey a little bit, and gave them each a copy. They haven't read it yet, but I hope that one day they'll open those pages and be encouraged.
I bet they would listen to it. You got to get an audiobook.
Maybe.
You got to hook up, take Martin up on his offer. Remember that?
Yep.
We got to do it. Yeah, there's a lot of things coming up even this fall in that regards. I'm excited about that. But speaking of emotional health, if you haven't downloaded it, what are you doing? It released yesterday, my 8th free ebook of the year. So August editions is how to be emotionally whole. And so go download that. It's probably my favorite ebook to date. I've released this all summer, June and July. I released ebooks. It's kind of cool. Yeah, all year, every month, on the 5th of every month, I'm trying to release an ebook. I have September's and October's written, still designing them. Got to write November and December, and then what a huge undertaking that I did. I definitely bit off way more than I could chew, but I know they've been blessing people, and so that's emotional work that we've been on for like 6 years now has really changed my life. And so I put together this ebook, and officially at the end of the ebook, I am officially launching. You really challenged me to do this. My first intensive in 2026. I'm only taking 10 people. It is not associated with Hill City, so that does have a cost associated with it. If you are interested in going through a very intense year-long cohort, I'm going to be doing that. So reach out, email me. I also have an email for it. I think it's called Zoe, ZOAY intensive@gmail.com. You can email me there or email me personally or text me. I'd love for you to be a part. I kind of soft launched it this past month and I already have 6 verbal commits. How do you say that word?
Yeah.
Commitments. And so I got 4 more spots open. It's very, very, very intense. I know you've helped me do a lot of the behind the scene work, but we are really kind of in this lane of really helping people work through their childhood traumas, work through their lived experiences, work through their hurt. I mean, we did 8 episodes on church hurt, and we had great feedback from that. And so kind of this is the next step, next journey. If you're a part of Hill City, you know about the ZLD courses that I still offer for free. I'll be doing that again, probably not this fall, but in the spring. And so we got a lot of opportunities for you to grow, not just this podcast, but a lot of things for you to be a part of and learn with us type thing. So yeah. I want you to talk a little bit about Africa. I was going to say Guatemala, but I think we're going to save that Guatemala story for next week, because I think the conversation around what that story did in me is going to be helpful for people. It also challenged me in a certain way, but I don't want to go there today. I do want to hear about some of your experiences in Africa, because you haven't shared any of that with our public audience. You have shared the leaders moment with the necklaces. You can share that here. You did that on a Sunday morning, which I felt super honored. I thought that was empowering. I am curious. I have a really funny story from Africa that I remember hearing that I think our audience would love to hear, but I kind of want to hear about your experience, because that was the last continent besides Antarctica that you needed
Australia,
to go.
Beside Australia.
So, okay. So you got 5 of 7 down. Yeah. And first time in Africa, your culture shock, just the fun experience, the relationships. Tell about it.
Well, I wouldn't say culture shock, just because I have traveled all over the world, and there is no culture that where I walk into and I get shocked. Yeah. It just is what it is, and you embrace it. It was this time in Africa, it was very heavily service oriented. And when I say service, I mean like worship gatherings for conferences, not so much time to get out in the community, in the town, because our days were booked with Bishop Jamie and Brittany and myself. So it was one of those things where for so long, and with ReLife, I really try now to have a great rhythm to my life where it's not just about services. And to be honest, I kind of started gravitating away from worship gatherings and services there for a season, but just being in the culture of honor, that they have there, how I was celebrated. And it's just nice to go in somewhere where they actually want you to be around them, yep. and they want to hear from you, yep. and they honor you in that way. So that was really good. And yeah, just seeing God move in some of those services in their life and what was happening. I kind of came back just a little bit like, okay, there is some importance to the gathering and what can happen and what God can do and how he can speak and encourage for the rest of your week, the rest of your month, whatever that looks like. And so I would say that for sure happened there. And speaking of like a culture of honor, so Brittany and I get there and they have someone that is a dedicated door holder for us that just watched out for us. And we didn't ever have to open a car door, the church door, a hotel door, nothing. Like this guy was there with us, like at all times, to show us honor in that way. And so I just thought that was
that's a culture shock. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, well, I just thought that was just super cool.
What about the paparazzi when you landed?
So it was just wild.
Pictures. Have you posted those online? Because there's a couple of Brit that caught her off guard that my wife and I were dying laughing.
I know,
about.
And I'm not going to do that to Brit and post those. Because also myself, I'm like so out of it after traveling, whatever, all day to get there 17, 18 hours with the layovers. We get there and we get ushered into the diplomatic area of the airport there in Douala, Cameroon. And Bishop Sean has all these connections, and that's how he travels, and that's how they treat him and respect him there in the country. And so they ushered us in, and they had, Bishop Sean there waiting for us, and paparazzi pictures like galore, like right in our face, right after stepping off the plane. A car ushered right in. We didn't even have to go through security, nothing. They did it. We sat there and waited while they took our passports and checked us all in and did it. It was a pretty wild experience being treated that way. And the same coming home. It was, the easiest travel ever because they just took care of everything. And then like our luggage didn't matter if we were like over on our weight for our bags. It didn't matter what our bags looked like. Jamie brought back a sword, like hanging out the bag. And they just took care of it all. So that was a pretty cool experience. But then probably the most impactful thing for me was something that Bishop Sean did with Jamie, Brittany, and myself. And he talked about how his mom was actually a great granddaughter of African royalty there in the area. And he talked about how they recognize royalty in Africa. It's not through wearing a crown. People don't wear crowns to symbolize authority. Kings don't wear crowns in Africa. And then he kind of likened it to Black Panther. If you've seen the movie Black Panther, where he became king. Actually, it happens a couple different times with different people. They didn't put a crown on his head, but they put this necklace with the elephant tusk teeth on it. And so he did this like little ceremony with us where he wanted to recognize the royalty that we were. And he just had these necklaces and had them and brought them out and kind of did this like little official ceremony and just called out that authority and recognized it publicly. I just thought it was super cool. And so I took that element or that culture piece of Africa back. I did it with our staff here.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Just thought it was a cool moment for me to recognize you all and recognizing that royalty, even in front of the people that call this place home. I thought it was just important to do. And then I took that African culture down to Guatemala and I actually found this lady. There's like 80. They asked me to preach in Guatemala to their youth group there. There's about 80 kids or so in the youth group. And as soon as Bethany asked me to preach, I kind of knew. I was like, okay, I want to, their motto was turning orphans into royalty. Yeah. And I wanted to talk to them about how you're not becoming royalty. You're not turning into anything, like you already are. And I want to recognize that in you right now as you are. And so the night before I was supposed, this was on a Wednesday. She asked, I was supposed to speak Friday morning to them. Friday afternoon. And so I get back on, I guess Thursday, come back, like, how am I going to find these necklaces? So Wednesday night, actually, I went out looking for them, couldn't find anybody. Thursday, I just happened to meet this lady on the street, some selling stuff.
Vendor.
And a vendor. And she actually spoke really good English. And I was like, here's what I really need. I need 80 necklaces. Can you do that? She's like, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, 80, not 8, 80. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, there's 8 people in my family. We'll stay up all night tonight making them. And I was like, well, okay, you could do it. Okay. Now how much are they? And she's like, well, I'm not going to go back and forth. I'll get it lowest price I can go, $3 a necklace. And so it's funny because in my mind, I already said I got to go out and find somebody and I'll pay $3 a necklace. So I wasn't even going to try to like hassle with her or anything. Done. And I was like, but I need them here 7 a.m. tomorrow. Because when I leave, I'm not coming back. And she's like, I'll be here waiting right out front of their hotel, 7 a.m. So another lady woke up that morning, went out and got coffee. She came back. It was about 6:30. She's like, hey, your lady's already out there. She said she has your necklaces. So went out there and she had them. So I did this whole ceremony with all of these orphans I don't even like call them like all of these kids, right? That they're amazing. And did that ceremony with them all. I preached through my tattoos, which first time I've ever done that, just felt led to do that. And the 3 stories that it represents. And then I just talked to them about royalty. And it was one of the coolest moments, probably the most fun I've had preaching potentially in my life. It was just so good. And they all love me down there.
Because you went one by one and gave all 80 orphans a necklace.
Yeah, they each came up one at a time and I asked them their name. Yeah. And then I called out their name and I said, I recognize the royalty in you.
I love that.
And gave them the necklace and just one at a time. And then I said, Te amo, I love you. And I gave them each a hug and they embraced me, gave them a hug and one at a time. But they do love me down there.
I know. I mean, well, you've been around.
Yeah. 5th time I've went and they know me and
it's so good. Fun. I love that story every time. And I appreciate you bringing African culture. It's crazy that you brought African culture, not just back to the States and honored us as staff, but then you took it to Guatemala, honored them. There's cool. Something timely about that. I want you to tell the story about Jamie preaching and stomping on the stage.
I forgot all about it. One cool moment, Brittany and I were there, setting off like stage left. Jamie's preaching. He's probably in it an hour and he's just going to town. People just pulling it out of him. He's getting like riled up the whole time. And he's talking about, he kind of like, it's the pinnacle of the message. And he's talking about how when Jesus on the cross said, it is finished, tetelestai. And he says it, but when he says it is finished, he stomped his foot on the stage hard, loud with finished. It is finished. Boom. Well, right when he stomped, this huge, gigantic rat just comes right out the stage, right in front of me and Britt. And I'm just like laughing. Britt's like, oh my God.
She's
like holding her legs up, feet straight up the whole time. And we just looked back at one of like the elders are sitting behind us and he's just like laughing at us, like freaking out about it.
Because that's normal for them, but
they might have seen it before. Yeah. But it was just wow. Because as soon as he goes, it is finished, boom. And then it just ran right out.
The rats.
And he'd been going at it for like an hour.
Oh yeah.
So it was fun. Fun time.
No stomping. So you got a lot of stories. You do have this incredible story that we're going to talk about next week from Guatemala. But man, that's a busy summer for you. And you came back. I did appreciate you like services, because it's not an either or, it's a both and we've been trying to figure this thing out for the last couple of years, is like, where's our focus and attention as church leaders? Because there's a part of us that hate it and there's a part of it that we love, and then there's a part of it that you hear things from people and you hear things from people who don't even know you and you're like, well, I don't even want to be associated with Christians. And sometimes that's how I really feel, because when you look at how you get treated by some Christians, it's like, man, why do I want to be a part of that? I love Jesus, but why do I want to be a part of this? And so sometimes it's really good to kind of get a different perspective, so to speak, because it's really been speaking to me and challenging me, your experience in Guatemala and also Africa. So I appreciate you sharing some of those things, and even the culture things, the honor things. It's been really good for me. And I know that this experience for us moving forward this fall, we got a lot of stuff that we're going to get into, several teaching things. Hill City, we're teaching through the whole word re in different ways. I don't know if people have been catching on to that, but we've been just going through the power of re, because ReLife has really been something that has just empowered us as staff. And so we just want to be empowering people. And so as we close today, why don't you just give maybe an empowerment? I love what you talked about, royalty, every single
and I will, but hold on just one second. Did you share any updates from the summer?
Yeah.
From you?
I mean, I traveled and I got lots of ebooks. My book is still selling great a year and a half later, which is awesome. So yeah, make sure you get that. My big update is this August ebook. Go download it. It's free. It's on emotional work. It's 27 minutes to take to read. And then if you're interested in my year-long cohort in 2026, to stop. I didn't have any, my trips.
And you're going to stop it at 10. So you only got 10, like
4 spots
right
left.
Now, 4 spots, unless one of the other ones back out.
And we'll see. Maybe I'll do 2. I don't know. I think that might be too much for me. But my summer wasn't really filled with ministry experiences, because I was on vacation several times or traveling with our staff retreat, which we had a lot of fun at, stuff like that. So for me, it was a good little break, but I'm also a little excited to be back in the booth. So
that's good. So what do you want me to leave them with? Something about royalty?
There's just the way you empower the staff. Let's empower all of our people watching and listening right now around this idea of royalty. It's actually a day in my Devo a whole day talking about royalty. Like, you're not waiting to become royal, you already are. But I love that whole concept that they have in the orphanage, like turning orphans into royalty. It's not because they're not, but this is what we speak over. And so why don't you just speak over our audience?
Yeah. So if you think about it in terms of every single person is a son or daughter of God. And if we're a son and daughter of God, a son or daughter, we are royalty because we are sons and daughters of the King, which that makes us royalty. And so if you're listening, I don't know what you've been going through, experiencing. I don't know how you view yourself, but if you could just start to see yourself as a prince or a princess, if you could start seeing yourself as royalty, I promise you'll begin to start living like you are. You'll be more confident. You'll be more assured. And I just really think that you start to make a difference, not only in your own life, but in the lives of people around you when you know who you are, whose you are, and what you carry, what authority you have. And that doesn't happen without recognizing that you are royalty. And so you're not trying to become royalty. You don't have to do anything to get there. All you do, it's a waking up and a realization that you already are someone who's royal, a royal son or daughter of God. So start living like it.
That's a really good word, because sometimes, at least the church that I kind of grew up, the message was like, oh, that'd be prideful to believe this. I'm telling you, it's not prideful. It's actually prideful to not believe it, because once you start viewing yourself like royalty, truly, you'll begin to see other people like royalty automatically, and you'll be the biggest encourager in any room you go into. You'll be full of grace and love, especially towards people who dishonor you. This will change your life, because then you will start to see other people as royal kids in the kingdom of God, even though they might not yet know it.
Yeah, love it.
So just with that, know you're loved, and there's nothing you can do about it.